Police actions across the country have been under heightened examination since Michael Brown was killed in Ferguson and Eric Garner was killed in New York. Public scrutiny of public officials is a natural and needed part of our society. We must ensure we are holding people accountable for the authority they are given and aren't overstepping their position. But equally important is upholding the laws of our country. We as citizens are bound by those laws, and when we break them, we too must be held accountable. Resisting arrest, not doing what a police officer instructs us to do, is illegal and has consequences. No one would say that death is an appropriate consequence because it's not. But by resisting arrest, the situation will escalate because that puts the authority of law enforcement at risk. We cannot be a lawless society. We must obey law enforcement, and in the event they violate our rights, we must seek all remedies available. For KMBC and KCWE, I'm Sarah Smith. I'm Sarah Smith with KMBC and KCWE in News Chopper 9. This is typically our position in the air when we are covering police chases.
Officers and deputies chased this red pickup truck for 40 minutes.
And this position is far safer than being on the ground and in harm's way when police are in pursuit of an alleged criminal. During these chases, often at high speeds, hundreds of people each time are at risk of injury or worse. In the past year alone, we have had multiple fatalities and injuries as a result of these chases. While there is a current policy in place, obviously it is not working. Law enforcement from across our metro area need to come together and craft a policy that they can all agree upon and act upon that will protect us all. No one should be put in harm's way by the people sworn to protect us when we find ourselves in the wrong place at the wrong time. For KMBC and KCWE, I'm Sarah Smith. What is Governor Brownback thinking? We have real problems in Kansas, like a budget deficit and cuts in school spending, just to name a few of the big ones. And yet, instead of taking action on these and other important issues, he randomly decides to discriminate against the gay and lesbian community. Back in 2007, then Governor Kathleen Sebelius, through executive order, added sexual orientation as a protected class for government employees. But just this past week, now in his second term, Brownback has reversed their inclusion with his own executive order that removes sexual orientation as a protected class. Really? Why make such a regressive move? Why shine another negative spotlight on Kansas when clearly the country is moving at a rapid pace towards acceptance of the gay and lesbian community? Governor Brownback should spend his time delivering on all his campaign promises and get Kansas back on the right track and stop pandering to the extremes. For KMBC and KCWE, I'm Sarah Smith. Another week has passed, and that has brought more controversy for the NFL. Last week, the discussion was focused on how they mishandled Ray Rice's assault on his wife. Specifically, that the NFL initially lacked full knowledge of the severity. That claim has been discredited, making their actions in suspending him indefinitely appear only in response to public outrage. This week, we have yet another case of abuse. Adrian Peterson allegedly assaulted his 4-year-old son. As in the Ray Rice incident, the initial penalty has been made more severe. The difference in the Peterson case, however, appears to be in response not only to public outrage, but that of an important NFL sponsor. We expect NFL players to be held to the highest standards of conduct. Their actions in the past 2 weeks clearly show the NFL's intent is to turn a blind eye until forced to do otherwise. Thankfully, this attention is helping shape their response to future cases. For KMBC and KCWE, I'm Sarah Smith. Kansas City was in the national spotlight this past midterm election because of two hotly contested races on the Kansas side. The Senate race between Republican incumbent Pat Roberts challenged by independent Greg Orman, and the gubernatorial race with Democratic challenger Paul Davis taking on another Republican incumbent, Sam Brownback. Early on, both races looked tight, but in the end, Roberts won with an 11-point lead. But for Brownback, the gap was much closer, winning by only 4 points. While I imagine it's difficult to step off the campaign trail in an acceptance speech, I think in both cases, the victors missed an opportunity to acknowledge the meaning behind these tight races. With over 40% of voters casting in opposition to their policies, clearly there's a desire for change. Let's hope the bravado of their acceptance speeches is quickly replaced with the reality that while Kansas isn't likely to turn blue, they are looking for a more moderate path that serves everyone. For KMBC and KCWE, I'm Sarah Smith.